What's going on today, everybody? Today I'm going to give you my opinion on whether or not it's worth it to buy a used STI or WRX. And actually, I'd like to thank a subscriber, Jay, for giving me the idea for this video. He asked a question. I was looking at buying an STI, a used STI. I think it's 18 with 40-some thousand miles on it. Give you my opinion on it and, give you some history here. I actually myself bought an 09 STI with about 9,000 miles on it. You know, there's two trains of thought for people who are looking to purchase an STI or a WRX, and it's usually those who've always wanted one and those who are looking for project vehicles. The ones who have always wanted one typically are looking for one for more of a daily driver, so reliability, Subaru Ringlands, y'all know how it is, comes into play because they will need the car obviously to be reliable to get around in, and they've always wanted one, so it's kind of like a dream car for them. In that regard, one of the things that I always look for when I'm going to buy something used, especially a Subaru, is it's going to sound kind of funny, but I always check the exhaust. If it's got a aftermarket exhaust, then that just leads me down the line of other things to check, because chances are, if it has an aftermarket exhaust, that it's probably had an access port in it at one point in time or another. It's just one of those things that kind of sparks your thought process of, if it's got an aftermarket exhaust, then I probably need to check to see what else it may or may not have done to it. And if you're looking for it for reliability purposes, obviously you don't want it to have been beat on, which the older STIs and WRXs probably, in my opinion, wouldn't need to be bought for a daily driver unless you just find an absolute cherry of a setup there, which if you're going to find one of those, you're going to pay pretty big money for those these days, as we all know. Some things to look for if you are shopping the STI WRXs. Obviously it's kind of hard to see some things right off the bat. Obviously you can see if an intake's been changed, intercooler, air oil separator kind of sticks out in your face. Although if it has an air oil separator on it and nothing else, and that's a reliability modification for these cars, so that's a good thing. I don't really think there's anything to lead you down a wrong path there. But, just check to see anything's zip tied all together, nuts, bolts turned on. You can see if some have been rounded off. If you go to a dealership, you can take these cars to a mechanic of your choice outside of the dealership and have them looked over for, things that have been changed, suspension part underneath the car. If it's been a track car, sometimes nothing's done to the engine and it's all suspension. Although if they were going to go that far with it, they would probably take all that high dollar suspension off of it and sell it. If the car has a pretty clean record, like all oil changes are documented and all the maintenance history is documented and all that, and like I say, if it's a newer vehicle, say 15 and up, in my opinion, I think that would be a pretty safe bet. Mileage dependent, and if you get a 15 that's got 150,000 miles on it, that might be a little questionable. Sometimes too is that a car that is extremely clean can also be a red flag, which is it's kind of hard to say, but it's kind of like one that's well worn but well maintained can be in better condition than one that looks absolutely immaculate. I know that sounds kind of funny, but it's like putting lipstick on a pig type of deal. As that sometimes things aren't always as they seem. The 09 I put 90,000 plus miles on it. I never had any issues out of it. So buying used isn't really a big concern as long as you do your due diligence, research it. And like I say, the other school of thought is that the people who are buying these for project cars typically don't care about reliability because everything's getting changed anyway. But if you're buying it for reliability purposes and daily driver purposes, need to really do the research on it, know what you're getting into with a Subaru. They're really, in my opinion, pretty reliable vehicles as long as they've been maintained and taken care of. Anyway, that's just, like I say, that's my opinion on buying a used STI. I know there's other opinions out there, but like I say, I'm using my experiences and just what I've learned by being around these for the last 20 odd years or so. So if you like the video, please leave a like. We'll catch you in the next one.